Right, here we are at the beginning of round 9, and I'm just going to show you where to mark if you like using stitch markers. Certainly with the first few of these you do, it's really quite helpful to have some markers in. Now, the video I did of the whole square has a billion markers in at this point, but there are really, you want the corners, and then there are 4 others that you want to pop in. So what we're going to be doing in this round is we're going to be making a corner into there, working into this stitch, doing a front post double treble, and then skipping 2 stitches. So skipping that one and that one. So if you mark this stitch here, if you look at the corner, this is your corner stitch, you skip 3, mark that one. So again, you've got your corner marked, skip 3 and mark this stitch. Skip 3 and mark. Skip 3 and mark. Now if you want the additional markers, I suggest you look at the full square video, but these are the ones that are the most helpful. So, okay. So carrying the white behind, chain 1 and 3 double crochet into the corner stitch. 1, 2, 3. Then double crochet into the next stitch, starting in green and finishing in white. And then we're making a front post double treble round the corner half treble from round, whatever this one was. 6, possibly 8. So yarn over twice, and in the second leg of the corner underneath, and a front post double treble finishing in green. Okay, and this is where your markers come in use, because you're skipping 2 stitches, that one and that one, and going into the marked stitch. The marker, preferably with the white at the back. Starting in green, finishing in white. Now you're doing a front post treble. Now all of them up to now have been double trebles, these front post stitches, but this is over a fairly short distance, so it's only a treble. So yarn over once, start it in white, and as usual finish it in green. And now you're going to work 7 double crochet across here. Now if you've looked at the whole video, there are some markers in here. I don't really think that you need the markers, because you should be able to see. So you're looking at, again, like you did in the an earlier round, you're looking for the stitch above the centre of the cluster stitches or popcorn stitches. So that's the centre stitch immediately in the middle, and you're doing 7, so that's the centre, so that will be 4, 3, 2, 1. So working into there, carrying the white behind, 7 double crochet along the side, 1, 2, pardon the rattling, it's the marker stitches, 4, 5, 6, and on the 7th you're going to change back to white. And if you look what you have left, you should have 3 stitches before the corner. So this is the stitch you worked into, and you've got 3 stitches there. So yarn over once, front post treble on that front post treble, change back to green, skip that stitch and work into the middle of those 3 with the white at the back, double crochet into there, finishing white, and then a front post double treble around the first leg of this corner. Finishing in green. And then you're not going to skip a stitch at all here. You're going to go into the one that's sort of a little bit underneath your front post double treble. It's the stitch before the corner stitch. And carry the white behind. And you're going to make double crochet into that one, 3 double crochet into the corner, like so. 1, 2, 3, double crochet into the next stitch, starting in green, finishing in white, yarn over twice, front post double treble into the second leg of the corner from down here. Finishing in green. And then going straight into the marked stitch, skipping 2 stitches from the previous row. Double crochet, starting in green and finishing in white. I beg your pardon. So then it's a front post treble, round the front post double treble from the previous round, starting in white, finishing in green. Skip a stitch and then identify the centre stitch above your 2 popcorns and count back 3. 1, 2, 3. So 7 double crochet across the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On the 7th one, change to white. Check that you've got 3 stitches. So you've worked into that one. You've got 3 stitches running up to the corner. So front post treble, on the front post double treble. Skip a stitch, work into the middle stitch of those 3, double crochet, starting in green, finishing in white, and a front post double treble around the first leg of the corner stitch from the previous round. Finishing in green. Then you don't skip a stitch, you work into the stitch before your corner marker. There. So that's your repeat. So 3 double crochet into the corner stitch, 1 into the next stitch changing to white, front post double treble around the second leg of the corner, skip 2 stitches, work into your marked stitch, starting in green, finishing in white, front post treble around the front post double treble from the previous round, skip a stitch, identify the centre stitch, 7 double crochet across the side, change to white, front post treble round the front post double treble, check that you've got 3 stitches left, work into the second of the 3, front post double treble around the first leg of the corner, and then work into the stitch before the corner, and I shall meet you back round here. Right, so here we are almost at the end of round 9. I've just got the last front post double treble to work around the chains from the corner of the previous round. Now you want to be a bit careful with this one because you'll have probably carried the white up round here, and you can see it's just sort of peeking out there. You want to be careful not to snag this when you go in for your front post double treble, so just make sure you've only got the stitch rather than the white that's carried up as well. Front post double treble, finishing it off in green. Now if this is your first square, like I said in the previous video, don't snip off the white yet. Finish off the whole square and measure it, because you may need to pull it out because you might not be the right size. So that was your front post double treble. Then you've got 1 stitch left to work into, double crochet, and then if you look at the square, you've got 5 green in each corner, white, green, white, 7 green, white, green, white, 5 green in the corner. So to make your corner, you've got your 1 stitch here, so you're looking for the 4th one, 1, 2, 3, 4, and slip into that stitch. Right, now you don't need to slip into the centre because this is your final round, so just be aware that the last stitch of round 10 is going to be the green stitch after the white stitch. Might be worth marking it again if you're on your first square, just so you remember not to go into this stitch here when you come round. So I'll just pop that marker in there to show this is the last stitch that I need to work into. So 1 chain and a double crochet into the same stitch. All this round is double crochet. And you've got your corner, so 3 into the corner, 2, 3, and then double crochet into the next 17 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and then you're to the corner. So the 3rd green stitch is your corner, so double crochet all the way around, and I shall meet you back at the beginning. This is a very straightforward round, and it really finishes off the square nicely, sort of straightens it out, because it's a bit sort of wonky at the moment, but the final round really finishes it off nicely. So I shall meet you back here. So here we are, the end of round 10, and I've just got my last stitch to work into the last stitch that we marked, just to make sure we didn't overshoot. So double crochet into there, and now we're going to make an invisible join. So you just snip your yarn off and pull it straight out. And at this point, if you want to count your stitches, you should have 80 all the way around. Now, bearing in mind that that stitch there is not a stitch, it is the one chain, and that is the top of your first stitch. So to make the invisible join, you may have done this before, anybody who hasn't, thread your needle, and this is the stitch that we're going to be working over the top of. So the invisible join just sort of makes a stitch on top of that. So you go to the following stitch, go in front to back, and then back into the stitch, the last stitch of your round, just through the back loop only. Pull it so that that is the same size as all your other stitches, then you can weave your ends in. Just catch that back. And then this stitch that you've made sits on top of the previous stitch, but it makes it much easier when you're joining squares and other shapes together. You don't have a lump and a knot where you've slipped together. So there you go, that is the Kaleidoscope Blanket square one completed all round. Good luck on the next 35.